So, I was bored recently and I decided to hop on Roblox to see what I could play to waste a few minutes of my day before being productive. I opened the Discover page to be blasted with a ton of colourful icons, each fighting for my zoomed attention span. Most of these games are either tycoons or simulator games, which all seem to follow the exact same formulas. Simulators, for example, seem to involve having the player click to get more points, use those points to improve their ability to click, spend some Robux here and there, and then repeat. Now this kind of game may just not be for me, but this seems remarkably boring. There just isn't enough engagement for me to feel invested, and as such, I close the game. However, these games are designed in a very specific way, one that is very similar to how TikTok and other short-form content apps hold user attention. By delivering a drip feed of dopamine to the user, they ensure the user gains a reliance on that dopamine drip feed and has to keep coming back and using the service. Even if they don't actually have fun, the dopamine ensures they become hooked to it. Don't even get me started on spinners in games, as they are essentially just gambling. If you've ever seen my other videos, you know how much I dislike short-form content and dopamine exploiters, so this really rubs me the wrong way. Most of these games are just glorified hamster wheels, keeping players engaged for ages without actually providing them with any gameplay or even any substance at all. Games like Blox Fruits just have you beat up enemies with the most boring attacks, and the enemies have really primitive AI. So why is it so popular? Well, I can't say for sure, but it's themed around One Piece, which is popular and also makes the player level up in a way that taps into their dopamine reserves, with exciting visual effects and sound effects to match. A less popular, but arguably worse example is Soul's RNG. All you do is spin a spinner to get a rarer visual effect, nothing else. It's worse than gambling, because all you get out of it is some sparkles around your character. Sure, some of them look cool, but that is quite literally it. No combat, no nothing. It's the best example I've seen of this hamster wheel description that I and YouTuber Yakocom gave. Roblox's game quality has gone down in the past few years, and these games are great examples of it. But all of this becomes exaggerated when we take children into consideration. Roblox has become something of a gigantic hit with children all over the world, especially recently. It's supposed to be a platform that allows children to make games and play with them with their friends, encouraging creativity, logical thinking, and problem solving. Although it seems that all of that is thrown out the window when whole teams of adult developers are building glorified hamster wheels with microtransactions at the best of times and addicting gambling games at the worst. And while they obviously do it because money, the most efficient way to earn money is to exploit the primitive caveman parts of our brain in order to make us spend. And it's even worse with children who have far less control or understanding about how their brain works, or how to control themselves. This is of course an issue, because it means that children are playing games that are designed to keep them hooked, and to keep them spending. This is of course a problem, because it is making children at a young age become dependent on this dopamine stream. In short, addicting them well before they know that addiction is even a word. These games are also generally themed around popular media franchises and trends. This is not inherently a bad thing, but when you have games like Yacht Simulator, teaching children about societal bodily standards well before puberty, or games featuring controversial people such as I Show Speed, teaching children inappropriate ways of behaving, we start to have an issue. Now you might say that these games don't do anything, they're harmless. But even though that isn't the intention of these games, children take in information like nothing else. They'll see I Show Speed's behaviour and how the end goal in Yacht Simulator is to get bigger, and believe that this is what they need to do to fit in. Children generally grow based on the environment they're put in, and if the environment is these games, they'll grow with the elements of the games within them. My final point is that the developers have become incredibly money hungry. It's understandable. If their games may not last long, they want to cash in as much as they can before it goes bust. But the extent that these developers are going to in order to encourage players to spend their hard-earned money is concerning. I played a game called Ultimate House Tycoon, and every couple of minutes or few times that I bought an upgrade, it would give me a pop-up to try and encourage me to pay Robux to buy some insignificant in-game upgrade. All these upgrades were also displayed in the physical game world as extra shiny upgrade buttons. Other games encourage spending by locking overpowered abilities and items behind a paywall. Of course, this is nothing new in the gaming sphere, but it is something that should still be acknowledged. Most of these games also use some sort of gambling system, where you genuinely buy some kind of loot box equivalent which rolls a random in-game item. This does count as gambling, and there has already been a debate about should loot boxes even be in games. I suppose this argument should be even more true for Roblox, as it is a game primarily made for children. And with that, my rant is over. This is not the video I promised in the last one, but that one is hard to work on as new things keep cropping up, making me want to put it off. Comment any new thoughts you might have, and that's me. Have a good one.